we're wanting you to understand is that your vitality and your clarity and your physical prowess is about your vibrational allowing. It's about resisting or allowing, period. But as you become statisticians who review the statistics that have been gathered, and because you are problem solvers, which means you're often looking at the problem and amplifying it in a very disproportionate manner, what happens is something that is actually astonishing. In an environment where well-being is huge in proportion to not well-being, you have managed to feel more vulnerable than you do vital. As we chew with Esther about this a little bit, and she watches different things happening, and she feels her own response to things, and sometimes a response that she knows is not serving her, and then she'll get to thinking about it, and she will get all huffed up about it, and she will say to us, I can damn well choose what my own dominant vibration is. And we say, well, we would like it to feel a little more positive to you than that. But that's a good starting place. In other words, you're in stage 1 when you say, I'm going to choose how I vibrate. And so that's what we want to talk about with you here today, because when you are really choosing what your vibration is, then you are really choosing your state of allowing. And when you are choosing your state of allowing, then well-being must be your experience. You want it, you've been preferring it, you've been letting the universe know endlessly that it is that which you want. Now all you have to do is get into a vibrational habit of thought where you let it in. That's all. And it's much easier than you might think at first. So toward that end, we have devised a game we are calling virtual reality. Sometimes you think it is like creative visualization, and it is in a way, but there are some differences in virtual reality because the game or process of virtual reality has only one intention, and that is, ready? For you to practice a thought with the singular intention of making a vibration of your choice dominant. That's all it is. It's practicing vibration and making it dominant. It's saying, this thought feels so good to me, and I'm going to hold my mind there long enough that this thought becomes an easy thought for me. Because that's what a dominant thought is. A dominant thought is an easy thought. It's a thought that you come upon easily. And you know why it's an easy thought? Because law of attraction is supporting it. In other words, you get started on a little negative thought and you hold it for a little while, the little negative thought gets bigger, and you hold it a little longer and other people start talking to you about it, and you hold it a little longer and books and magazines and avalanches of information begin to come in about it, and you hold it a little longer and you begin running into people that are having the experience, and you hold it a little longer and you begin to be one of those people having the experience, and you hold it a little longer and you join groups where everybody's having those experiences, and then you become one who believes that that's the way it is. And we say, oh boy, you didn't need to go there. And if it is a belief that serves you, then it was worth holding that thought and getting there on purpose quickly. But if it is a thought that does not serve you, then wouldn't you just as soon not go there? So, virtual reality, you have a stance like a movie director where you are setting the scene. We would suggest that the first thing you do in this 30-second virtual reality is decide where it will be, what time of year it is, what time of day it is, what it feels like in the atmosphere around you, what your mood is, who else is there, doesn't have to be anybody, could be all alone, how they feel, and then a quick exchange between you. And what we notice is that as you set a scene and you pick a place you think you'd like to be or you know you'd like to be, and you make it the time of year that feels the very best to you, and you make it the time of day that feels the very best to you, that will conjure a mood within you. You'll feel the mood begin to bubble. And as the mood begins to bubble within you and you put words to the mood feels stronger. And as you decide who else is there, the mood may be enhanced and it may be diminished. That's why we encourage you to only choose enhancing others to be with you. And then exchange a few words and then leave. In other words, the process is get in, feel good, get out. Esther noticed as she began playing with it that she could get in pretty easily, she could feel good pretty easily, and if she didn't get out quick, sometimes she felt less good if she stayed longer. Because the longer she stayed, things felt like they needed to be reformed. Another thing that we are wanting to encourage you is let this virtual reality be for one purpose only, and that is to choose a vibration and make it dominant. Don't use your virtual reality as the place where you try to fix things that are broken. Because if you take an issue to virtual reality, you take the vibration of the issue into virtual reality, and now virtual reality cannot possibly be what it is intended to be. You get a sense of that? You understand about law of attraction, don't you? That which is likened to itself is drawn. Just like your radio signals. If you've got your tuner set at 98.6, you cannot hear what's on 101 FM. In other words, you have to set your tuner to the channel that you are wanting to receive. And law of attraction is about that. You must be vibrationally acclimated to the vibrational frequency that you are wanting to experience. You are much more electronic or electrical than you are anything else. So there are two words that we want you to focus upon as you're thinking about virtual reality. The first is dominant. What is my dominant vibration? You know what it is. In other words, when we talk about the most significant subjects in your life, you can feel what your dominant vibration is. When you think about dollars, do dollars feel like fun and fancy and freedom and exhilaration and adventure? Or do dollars feel like struggle and worry and hard work? You can tell, you know. And while you may sometimes think a little bit of all of that, you can feel which leaning you have. When you think about your dominant relationship, does it feel like exhilaration and fun and freedom? Or does it feel like struggle and hard work? When you think about your body, does it feel hearty and sure? Or does it feel tentative? Do you worry? You can tell. You know where your vibrations are. And we're saying it doesn't matter where they are. With a little bit of virtual reality process, you can modify any vibrational tendency you have and make it anything that you choose it to be. It is a wonderful exercise that will change your point of attraction. So, we are eager to talk with you about anything that is important. You will notice as we are moving along that we will not be too eager to encourage continuing activation of things we know you don't want in your life. The other word that we want you to focus upon, first word, dominant vibration. Second word, activation. So I've got this vibration going on. I'm worried about something, which means I've activated a thought. And for the time of its activation, it is my point of attraction. So I say, oh, well, I don't want to activate that thought. I'm going to deactivate it. I'm going to deactivate that thought. But the problem is, you can't deactivate that thought. Because when you try to deactivate that thought, you don't deactivate that thought, you activate that thought. And you say, I'm not going to think about that, I'm not going to activate that, it's activated. So you say, well, how can I deactivate the thought? And we say, you can't. Well, then why are we talking about it? Because when you activate another thought, that thought is automatically not active. So the way you deactivate a thought is by activating another thought. And that's the point of virtual reality. You're going to practice deliberate activation of vibrations. Law of attraction will help you until it becomes normal for you to activate the best in your environment. Have you ever seen a child that behaved entirely differently with one person than with another? And you say, this child is a schizophrenic. And we say, all that's happened is one person activated one thing in the child and another person activated another thing. In other words, you are all influential of one another. So as we are moving forward here today, what we are wanting you to get the sense of is how you can deliberately practice a vibration until it becomes a more dominant, more active part of your vibration. And a number of things will begin happening to you. The first thing that will happen is those thoughts will come easier to you. And the second thing that will happen to you is that thoughts that don't match your desire will be more obvious to you. In other words, you will begin to feel more creative control in your own experience. Now, creative control is a wonderful thing for a number of reasons. It's a wonderful thing because it causes the manifestations of your choice to manifest more quickly. And that's lovely. We want that for you. But the reason that we are really wanting you to practice vibrations that feel good, you may laugh at this, is because when you practice vibrations that feel good, you feel good. And feeling good is so important because all of your power is right now. Your life is now. In other words, you're not living your life now for something that will happen later. You're living your life now. It's an interesting thing how you're living your life now. And yet, so much of what you are living now is sort of on hold for something that you think you will live later, but you can never live it later. You're always living it now. Jerry and Esther were in Estes Park in the Rocky Mountain National Forest last month. And every day they would walk around one of the lakes. And at one of the lakes was a big picture board with pictures of the beginning of the lake, the beginning of the building of the trails and the beginning of the building of the buildings. And the pictures were old-fashioned looking pictures to Esther. The people were dressed as they dressed then. The picture was not in color. And as Esther stood on the spot looking at the mountain, which looked the same, the terrain, which looked basically the same, she said, these people stood right here, and they were living in the modern day. In other words, the time that they were living was like the time that we're living. It was a sort of mind-twisting thing for her because she thinks of way back then. She said, I wonder if they were able to even contemplate us. And I wonder who will be standing here 100 years from now contemplating us. This time thing is such an interesting thing because as you are so aware of your past and your future, we want so much to point you to the poignancy and the power of your now. Because this is the junction where your soul and your flesh combine. This is the juncture where the inner you and the physical you meet. This is the juncture where you let you be you or you don't let you be you. In other words, you're either letting you be you now, which means you're joyful, you're fantastically in love with life and yourself. You are at one with what is happening. You understand well-being. You know well-being. Or you're not. In other words, you may be pinching it off. You may be but a shadow of who you are. But in any case, it's all happening right now, right now, right now, right now, right now. So we want to show you how to offer a vibration so that your future can contain more of the things that you want. Yes, indeed we do. But we don't want to tell you how to feel good now in order to achieve that. We want to show you how to feel good now because feeling good now is feeling good now. And feeling good now is everything because now is life. Now is your life. It's not tomorrow when the house is finished. It's not later when you meet your perfect lover. It's not later when there is more money. It's now. And the only thing that makes the difference in the way you feel right now is the thoughts that you are thinking right now. In other words, that's all. Your choice of thought. It doesn't matter how much money you've got. There are joyful people with no money and there are unhappy people with lots of money. In other words, the state or the fact of your manifestation is not what how you feel is about. How you feel is about how you are allowing the source that is you to flow. So when we talk about the art of allowing, we're talking about the art of life. We're talking about the art of living. We're talking about the art of thriving. We're talking about the art of clarity. We're talking about the art of being who you really are. And when you are in any moment being who you really are, people who are looking on describe you as, nice to be with, clear-minded, sure-footed, healthy, eager, passionate, joyful beings. That's who you are. So toward that end, we want to chew with you on as much nitty-gritty as you're wanting to give us. And in every bit of it, we will hear your stage one. In other words, the contrast has helped you to know what you want. Our work is to help you to get into the place of letting in what you want. Esther has been teasing for years, although she is telling a true story. She took many, 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 many years of piano lessons as she was a child growing up. And she did 100% of her practicing at the lesson. She loved her teacher, and her teacher loved her. And they had a very good half hour together every week. And you know, a half hour a week will serve you pretty well over enough years.